Hi, today we're going to work on a drawing project and we're going to learn a few tools and we're going to also learn a few techniques. Now this is a low resolution JPEG of this fleur-de-lis. You can see it's not very clean looking. It's low res. It's also not a color I really want it to be. We could solve that, but what I want to do is vectorize this. That way I can enlarge it, reduce it, add a drop shadow, a outline, whatever I please. So I'm going to have to just vectorize it. Now I could try power trace, but this is such a clean, graceful looking object that I'm going to trace it by hand. And we'll get started. If I go down here to my pen tool, right there it's going to open up this little graphic since I didn't have anything selected when I clicked that. Changing outline properties when nothing is selected. What that means is if I click OK, this will let me set my outline properties for this drawing, so it won't change back to the default. I'm going to use a contrasting color and make it 2 points. That's thick enough that you'll be able to see it on the video. And now we can start drawing. I'll begin by taking a moment just to kind of familiarize myself with this shape. If you see this line here on the right side, it goes from the point up here and it's an S curve all the way through here and it ends up down here. Now an S curve, got my Bezier tool. If you're more comfortable with the pen tool, feel free to use that. They do similar things but not exactly the same, but either one will work for tracing. I'm much more comfortable with Bezier, but if you prefer seeing the lines as you draw, you can use the pen. So remember, from here to here. And that's a straight line, so the first thing I want to do so that I can shape it is change it to curves right up here. I have it selected with my shape tool, and now it's a curved line. Didn't change anything, but now I can shape it out. Now the way to draw an S curve is using your control arrows, one that way and one that way. However, this one is just too sharp for me to get with just 2 nodes. So I'm going to add another node right here, and you can always move this later, but that looks about where I want it. And make sure it's a cusp. A cusp means you can change either side of the line independent of the other. And for now, that's what I want to do. So right now, I'm going to just drag the line out to the edge like that. And then down here, I'm going to drag the line into that edge. And that is pretty close, but we want it to be perfect, so we'll shape it out using our control arrows. Keep in mind this one's going to have to be converted to a smooth curve after we get it shaped out. So select that middle one, change it to a smooth curve like that. And it jumped a little bit, so I want to shape it out a little bit more, but I don't want to take too long or you'll turn off my video. So that's pretty good, right? Just like that. Keep in mind that nobody's going to compare this to the original drawing. So as long as you do a nice graceful curve that matches up fairly well, this is going to be great. And you can work on it as hard as you want, get it as exact as you want. But for me and this video, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, now we have to draw. Let's do this little square thing in the middle. That's obviously just a square with a rectangle with rounded corners, so I'm going to draw it that way. Just draw a square, rectangle. And here's something you may probably already know. If I use my shape tool, I can round off the corners like that. And that'll work. And let's see, what do we have next? We have this shape here. If you're a perfectionist like I am, you're never happy with your drawing. But we're going to leave it for that. Okay, so let's draw this shape here. I'll start right there. go around to about there, and about to there, and here. And as you do this, you will become more familiar with where to put the nodes. It's basically wherever the curve changes in such a manner that you won't be able to follow it, you want another node. But you do want to use as few as possible for the most graceful final look. Alright, so I'm going to marquee select my nodes, change it again to curves, and we'll shape this out. This ought to be a little easier because it's not an S curve, but come on. Grab this, move it out. Grab this and move it out here. Right there. And these are cusps, so it's easy to shape out. Like that. And like that. Okay. Now get it as close as you can using, oh, there's a node in there. You make it as close as you can using what you've done. You can eyeball it to make it look nice and graceful. Now these two I want to be smooth nodes, so I'm going to convert those. You can see it jumps a little bit. These two I want to be smooth nodes, like that. And then this one and this one and this one remain cusps. So this is just a matter of pulling this in. And at this point they're smooth, so you have to be a little more careful. But you can move the nodes, just get it exactly the way you want. Okay, I put it on pause there to answer the phone, so I worked on it a little bit more. But I'm going to leave it at that. You can see this here is not perfect, but for the video you're probably getting the gist of what I'm doing. We have one more thing down here, and that's this tail down here. So for that, remember I'm only drawing half of it. So I'll go here, here, and here. We're going to join all this together when we're finished. But it's easier sometimes to draw it. I guess I could have done that all in the same shape, but once again, convert them to curves and shape it out. Easy enough. Okay. Now we have to put all this together. We also have to draw the second half of it, but since it's perfectly symmetrical, we don't have to go through all that again. We're just going to combine all these and mirror image it. Now this middle thing here, that we made out of a rectangle, we don't have to mirror that because it's already where it needs to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you remember, I drew this as a separate shape. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. And so I'm going to hold down Shift and select both of those. Hit my Control L, which is also combine. Let's go back so I can show you that. This is combine up here on my toolbar. Now they're combined, but they're not joined yet. To join them, I want to select both of those nodes. And right up here I got my join thing. It's also Control 2 for a shortcut, at least on my keyboard. And now it's one separate line, one complete line, just the way I want it. And now I will take that line, hold down Shift, pick that, and I'm going to mirror it. Now there are different ways to do that. I can click my mirror thing, but you can see I don't like that. It mirrors it right in the same place. But what I want to do is something you may not have tried before. So I want to copy it. Control C or copy up here. Now it's on my clipboard. I'll paste it. And I'll hold down Control while I grab this node and just pull it to the right until it mirrors. Like that. So now it's perfectly mirrored. And once again, we need to join this and this. And we will do that again with, we'll go that line and this line, hit combine, take your shape tool, pick these two nodes, join, and if you don't want to do it with your menu, you can always just drag one away and put it right back without changing the shape, and that will join it. We need to join these to the main body, so I'll select both of these. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to use another tool, weld, arrange, shaping. Let's open up my shaping menu, pick weld, weld to, and we'll just weld it to itself. Okay, so now it's all welded together like that, except for that rectangle. The reason we didn't do that is because I want to do one more thing with that. I'll click that rectangle, hold down shift, click my line, and now I want to go to arrange. There's a shortcut for this too, but I'll show you how to do it. Arrange, align and distribute. Align and distribute here. Align. We're going to go center, which is going to perfectly align this. Apply. Now I got it pretty close, so you didn't really see anything happen, so I'm going to move it out here just to show you what I did. Click that, hold down shift, click this, align center, and that'll move it exactly in the center. Then the shortcut for that would be just C on your keyboard. So if it's out here, I'm holding down Control. Whichever object you click first is the one that's going to move. So I'll click that one first, and then this one. And I'll click my C key. It's the same thing as the Align tool, but it's a shortcut. So that aligns it center, horizontally. What am I saying? Okay, so now I'm going to click that rectangle again, hold down shift and click that. No, I don't have to hold down shift in this case because I'm going to use weld. So right here, weld to, and weld it all together. And as you can see, that completes my shape. And now that it's a vector, I can do whatever I want with it. I can make it green with an orange outline. I can increase the outline if I like to 4 points. I can put the outline behind the fill and click scale with image. That way, if I enlarge it or reduce it, the outline goes with it. I want a little bit more of an outline, so I'm going to change it because now half of it's behind the fill because we selected that. You can see the difference here. But I like it behind fill a lot of the time because it doesn't change the integrity of the object. So I'll make this 8 points, give it a good healthy outline. Oh, and I also like on a sharp point like this, I like to select round corners. You can see how that, let's see, you can see how it has a hard time getting around here. It's too sharp, so that round corners helps to give it a nice smooth graphic look. From here I can give it a fill. You're familiar with that. I can give it less of an outline. I can change the color of the outline or the middle however I please. And I can also do a drop shadow. I mean, I don't have to do it all right now, but I can do anything I want, any kind of special effects. Now the reason it looks different is because this one doesn't have an outline. So if I just click no outline, now we're back to pretty much the exact shape we had. Anyway, from here you can do anything you want. So what did we learn here? We learned the Bezier tool, how to shape out a line, how to use geometric shapes and weld them into your design so you don't have to trace all around the corners, and how to draw an S-curve, how to draw graceful vector curves, and how to weld, how to align. We've learned a lot today, how to mirror image something. I've learned a lot today. I hope you have too. Anyway, practice with some of these techniques, especially the mirror image. Whenever you draw something like this, you don't want to draw it twice, so you just draw half of it and mirror it. I hope your next project goes well.